molds into this Portland Timbers roster put onto fields next year. Give us your thoughts on these four and why these guys you think are worthy of being the first introduced.
Well, obviously I've seen Eddie Johnson play a couple of years ago actually when we went out with the Dynamo to play in Austin. And we've always said if I were to get a head coaching position I would try and nab him. I think we did that a few games ago before the end of the season, so I was absolutely delighted. Bright and obviously Ryan, I think we've had tremendous years this year, and we have been rewarded with the chance to go up to MLS and prove their worth to us, and I truly believe in every single one of these players that we've signed today. And Steve, as Gavin mentioned earlier, has MLS experience which is invaluable at this level, and I think it's exciting times today for the Portland Timbers to look ahead.
Well, we'd like to open up to questions now from the media that's here. We have a wireless microphone we can send around. Rocket's got it right there if you just wouldn't mind identifying yourself when you're asked your question. But if anyone has questions for Ryan, Steve, Eddie, or Bryant, or Gavin or Coach Spencer, go right ahead.
Don't be shy.
All right, I'll go. So, in talking to Spencer before, he's mentioned like athletic guys that have a little bit of pace to them and stuff like that. I'm wondering, since I don't know much about Eddie, how do you describe your game? What are we going to see from him?
Hopefully a lot of goals. I've been scoring a few goals for the last 2 years, and I think I hold the ball up pretty well, and I also got quite a few assists this year, so not only can I score goals, but I can provide something for the other guys in the team.
Well, I'll hop in here and Gavin, I'll ask you a question. With Steve Cronin in particular, certainly we've seen what he can do with this level. It's going to be perhaps a different back four in front of him. That was certainly continuity at the back, a big helpful factor for him these last 2 years, a lot of familiar faces. How much confidence do you have going into MLS, knowing that you've got a proven goalkeeper behind you? Because most people that I've talked to have said that's the #1 key for an expansion team to have success.
Very confident. I think Steve will be one of 3 to 4 goalkeepers on our roster. He has MLS experience, he has proven at this level, and we have one of the best defensive records over the last couple of years. Admittedly, that is Division 2, but Steve has been a key contributor to that. He's a key part of that when it comes to organisation, developing the confidence of the young players in front. One of the benefits that Steve brings is obviously his ability to organise and manage games, and his distribution is phenomenal. So we're looking for those same things at the next level, and I'm sure we're still going to have a great back line in front of Steve, and he's going to contribute to that as well.
This question for Ryan. Can you, I guess, tell us how your game has changed or how you've adjusted as a player since your last run in MLS, and how you expect your success in USL2 to translate to MLS?
Yeah, in Kansas City I was playing sporadically, and I don't think I ever got the confidence level where I needed to be to play at my highest level. And looking back on the time, when I did get released by Kansas City, it was a tough time for me, and I needed to get to a club where I was going to play every game. And fortunate enough for me, Gavin, saw that ability in me, and last 2 years, I've had the confidence of the coaching staff, and so I've definitely matured as a player and learned from my mistakes, and looking forward to this opportunity for sure.
I have to add that I have no problem with this guy's ability to step up to the next level. He wouldn't be signed if we didn't think he was good enough. I believe that if he has a belief in his ability that he showed this year, he'll score goals in Major League Soccer, and next year for us he'll be a major contributor. So there's no questions, no pointing fingers at this guy's ability. He's a top player, and he'll produce for Portland Timbers next year. I'm pretty positive of that.
This is a question for Steve. Steve, you've been with the team now for 2 years. You are a favorite among the fans. You love to get the Army riled up. Can you talk a little bit about what it means to be among the first players signed, not just for the Timbers, but in the larger sense of Portland and the community at large?
That's one of the first things I ever heard about Portland and playing here. And over the last 2 years, the Army and the fans in general, better crowds at even being at the Division 2 level than you saw at most of the places around MLS. And, the ability for soccer to grow in this city is unbelievable. I can't wait to see how it is in the next, the coming few years, and just watching it grow. It's even grown from last year to this past year with the Timbers, and going forward, the Army's going to get bigger, and the popularity of the sport in the city is going to be amazing.
Hey Brett, last season you came a little short of making the MLS, but here you are this morning, one of the first players the Timbers are going to announce for their 2000 MLS season. Can you just tell us some of the feelings that you might have right now?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. I mean, this has definitely been a blessing in disguise because I couldn't ask for more. This is, I got so much more experience. It's invaluable. I've become such a better player than maybe I would have if I was playing over there. Just to get games, like Ryan said, is just so important, and that's been really good for me, and I've become such a better player because of it.
Steve, can you talk about your experience with the Galaxy and how that's going to help you with the Timbers, and also giving some experience to some of the younger guys that's going to be on the team?
My experience with the Galaxy was, I always look back on it as a good one overall. I was a young player going in there and had a good opportunity to grow. And at the time I was pretty disappointed it didn't work out, but I'm very thankful I came here and come to this organization. The way things are moving forward with this team is going to be great. I have nothing but high expectations for this team and for this organization. And my previous experience, I think, will do nothing but help me moving forward with games and as well as helping guys around me.
Here's a question for Eddie. Eddie, I'm curious to hear more about what you know of the Portland Timbers, what you know of the city, what you know of the fans. You're obviously a new player signing, but you're also new to the team at large and new to the city. What's your perception of coming into Portland at this point?
Obviously, I've only been here once before playing for Austin, but everyone's always talked about the atmosphere you get here. It's one of the games that other players look for when we visit in Portland. So the atmosphere, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be lively. It was nothing like you got in the division below. I think next year it's only going to be bigger, more exciting, louder. Obviously, with the expansion of the stadium with more fans, it's just going to be exciting. And I just can't wait to get started.
This is for Eddie. Welcome to Portland. Welcome to America. What has surprised you the most about soccer in the United States?
I think it's getting bigger all the time. They're even showing the games, the MLS games back in England now on ESPN. I think obviously the David Beckham fact that helped the MLS. It's becoming a big thing around the world. Obviously, Thierry Henry's come now. They're attracting big names, so I think it's great that Portland have now joined with the MLS and such a big league now around the world. It's getting more and more respect all the time.
Gavin, let me ask you, one of the big debates as you build this team is going to be guys who are regular starters and perform at the Division II level versus guys that are bench players, reserve players in MLS, and who has more worth. How important is it for you, not just, obviously you put your faith in Division II guys, but the fact that you have players on your team that are Division II players, but that have a wide breadth of MLS experience as well?
I think it's very important. I think it's not just me, it's John Spencer as well, and obviously when it comes to the players on the field, it's John, and whether they're performing in trainings, whether they're performing in games, they'll get the opportunity, I'm sure. But Portland going to MLS in 2011 was a carrot for many of these players to stay around for this season. I think we attracted better than average, typical USSF Division II players. I think Brian Paul could have gone anywhere. He had offers to go to MLS last season. I think Brian TK could see the future and the direction of the organisation. Steve Cronin, the year that he came out from LA Galaxy, had several other MLS teams that wanted his performances, his ability on the field. I think when we started to look at what we wanted to do last year, the year before with Amos McGee, in developing the roster, we wanted to bring with us players that we felt could play at the next level, and these players are definitely the players that we have that level of confidence in. There will also be additional players that we have that confidence in. And when they came to Portland, not only did they come to Portland because the direction of the organisation, they came here because of the fan support, the direction, the growth of the sport in this city, and I'm sure that we did attract better than average players, and I'm sure that will show itself next year.
I think, John, that you have to also recognise the fact that it doesn't matter what division you play in. If you're good enough, you're good enough. And these guys sitting to my left-hand side are definitely good enough. So it's irrespective of where you come from. If you have the ability to play, perform, performed at the top level, which I believe these guys have, then we'll be all right next year.
Well, unless we have any other burning questions, I think we'll call that to a close for today's event. Once again, fans, let's welcome these first 4 players.